To continue my Star Wars post for the month of May, I've decided to talk specifically about the video games. In particular, I wanted to cover my favorites. There's a lot of great ones, and many didn't quite make the cut, so first I'd like to give some honorable mentions. First, I'll mention LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga for being a fun collectathon that anyone can enjoy. Second, I'll mention Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for being the best Star Wars racing game. Lastly, I'll mention Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for showing that even in the new era, they can make a great single-player story. Number 5, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike. The Star Wars franchise has had many spaceflight and dogfighting games, and in my opinion, this one does it best. The first game was groundbreaking and set the tone for the series. The second one progressed the mechanics and improved it in every way. And finally, the third took what the second did and added more to it. Many would say the second is the best in the series, but the third allows you to go back and play through the second game in co-op, so that's why I pick it. The flight mechanics and combat feel great to utilize, and it's fun getting to try out each of the different ships in the game. Number 4, Star Wars Battlefront 2, 2005. While I like the new Battlefront games, nothing beats the old ones. The first one was so much fun and gave me endless hours of play, whether playing on my own or with friends. Then the second one came out and perfected the game, while adding so much more content. The space battles added a fun new element that feels very Star Wars, and allowing players the ability to play as different heroes and villains is exactly what I wanted in the first game. The expansions made the chess-like Galactic Conquest mode a lot more fun. No other games match this one's feel for big Star Wars battles. Number 3, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. The Jedi Knight series of games are old-school first-person shooters that had incredible stories that built into the franchise really well, but they are no longer canon. I think they were used as a basis for certain characters and story beats of the new films, mostly Rogue One. I chose the second game because I think it has the perfect mix of good gameplay and story. The first game didn't quite have the gameplay figured out yet, and while the third game pushes the lightsaber combat to the highest heights the entire franchise has seen, it lacks its story and characters. Jedi Outcast, however, has the great combat and mechanics of 3, while also having a great story and one of Star Wars' coolest protagonists in Kyle Katarn. Number 2, Star Wars Galaxies. Star Wars Galaxies is an MMORPG, which I played for most of its time as a live server from 2003 to 2011, and have continued to play it in various private servers that have kept it going ever since. This game changed a lot throughout its existence, being a completely different game when it ended than when it began, but I like all versions of it. It was an MMO unlike any others, and was perhaps too ambitious to its own detriment. It allowed players to really just live in the Star Wars galaxy. You could play action-oriented and focus on combat or hunting, you could play business-oriented and craft goods or set up a shop, or you could focus social-oriented and be a musician, dancer, or stylist, or any mix of game styles. It's the most open-world sandbox MMO I've ever played. Number 1, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic is not only my favorite Star Wars game, but it's also one of my favorite games, period. It has a story which rivals, or in some cases is even better than, the films. This RPG is heavily story-focused and allows the player a lot of agency over which direction it goes, depending on if the player wants to be good or bad, or dark or light. It is an early exploration of what it really means to be a Jedi or a Sith in the Star Wars universe. The plot twist halfway through is also one of the best in Star Wars and video game history. That rounds out my top 5 favorite Star Wars games. You might have noticed that all of them came from the early 2000s, that there's likely a lot of nostalgia that plays into it, and of course 3 of them were sequels which improved upon the earlier releases. Hopefully this gives some recommendations for Star Wars games others could check out. This is the end card, which means you've made it to the end of the video, so thank you for watching. If you liked the video, hit like. If you want to see more, maybe hit subscribe.